नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 6, The Activities of Lord Rishabhadev, Shloka number 5. Kamo manyurmado lobha Shoka moha bhayadayaha Karma bandhaschayan mulaha Svikuryat konu tad buddha Kamo manyurmado lobha Shoka moha bhayadayaha Karma bandhaschayan mulaha Svikuryat konu tad buddha Kamo manyurmado lobha Shoka moha bhayadayaha Karma bandhaschayan mulaha Svikuryat konu tad buddha Kamo manyurmado lobha Shoka moha bhayadayaha Karma bandhaschayan mulaha Svikuryat konu tad buddha Kamo manyurmado lobha Shoka moha bhayadayaha Karma bandhaschayan mulaha Svikuryat konu tad buddha. Okay, word meaning? Kamaha, lust, manyuhu, anger, madaha, pride, lobha, greed, shoka, lamentation, moha, illusion, bhaya, fear, adayaha, all these together, karma bandhaha, bondage to fruitive activities, cha, and yat mulaha, the origin of which Svikuryat would accept, kaha, who, no, indeed, tat, that, that mind, buddhaha, if one is learned. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Jai Srila Prabhupada. The mind is the root cause of lust, anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion and fear. What's happening? Somebody there in the shop today. The mind is the root cause of lust, anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion and fear. Combined, these constitute bondage to fruitive activity. What learned man would put faith in the mind? The mind is the original cause of material bondage. It is followed by many enemies such as anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion and fear. The best way to control the mind is to engage it always in Krishna consciousness, Savaimana Krishna Padara Vindayo. Since the followers of the mind bring about material bondage, we should be very careful not to trust the mind. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guraho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, continuing the discussion on the mind, now here we see that mind is the root cause of lust, anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion, and fear. Combined, these constitute bondage to fruitive activity. What learned man would put faith in the mind? So there is, in our Gita course also we cover this particular topic on um, the perverted, inverted, banyan tree. So the inverted banyan tree, it is one particular concept that we cover is that uh, the reflection of this inverted banyan tree, is what actually we see as the material world here, and this reflection, it is made possible through a medium. So the medium is the mind. The mind is where the reflection actually exists. The mind is where the whole material world actually exists. So otherwise, there is no particular existence of the material world. So it is mind is the place, where the reality is everything is part and parcel of Krishna. So, but this illusion that this is different from Krishna is actually created on the platform of mind, through the influence of the material modes of nature. And material modes of nature also in the third chapter it is very nicely mentioned how the modes of nature actually attack the living entity. It attacks through the medium of mind, intelligence, and the senses. These are the medium through which it actually attacks. So, and like we were discussing in the weekend, in Kannamangala Center, also similar kind of topic we were discussing. Our effective sadhana is to engage this mind, intelligence, and senses nicely in the service of the Lord. So, and of them, just like when we are talking about all the senses, the key of all the senses is the tongue. So, in the same way, the senses, mind, and intelligence, the key of all of them is the mind, actually. So, if mind is controlled, so then rest all of them will, we can actually put them in control, to a great extent. So, but if the mind is not controlled, it's quite very difficult. So, imagine like we are, engaged in the service of the Lord at the sensual level. So, like all the senses are nicely engaged in the service of the Lord, but then the mind is not, you know, fully become a nice devotee, and the mind is like haunting, with so much of material desires and things like that. So, even externally we are able to engage in the service of the Lord, but the mind will not allow us to be peaceful. So, amongst these three, the mind is considered to be very important, this one. And like Krishna actually mentions, through the intelligence which is trained in Krishna consciousness, one should control the mind. So this is one aspect that is mentioned. And then another aspect that is mentioned here is that we should engage the mind fully in Krishna consciousness. So that is like Prabhupada quotes here, Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindaya. So like thinking about the Lord and meditating about the Lord. So engaging the mind nicely in the service of the Lord is a very essential aspect. So now this section, like we were discussing in Kanamangala also, that particular section where Arjuna asks that, why is that, I don't want to do certain sinful activities, but why am I forced to do this thing? And Krishna mentions that it is only because of kama esha, krodha esha, rajoguna samadbhava. So it's only because of lust, and which is actually uh, what is that, all devouring enemy of the living entity. He is the only enemy who is there, who is actually controlling all the living entities and identifying him, and strategically where he is there. So he is there in the positions of mind, intelligence, and senses. And Krishna actually defines the sadhana process, like how we should control this mind, intelligence, and senses. In this like doing this one. So like one aspect is that externally engaging all of them, finding engagement for all of them, and another aspect is the mood with which to approach them. So the mood with which to approach them is, today morning we were asking this question in the base, like in the middle of the chanting I was seeing like many of the warriors were retired hurt, they're like so their heads were almost chopped off. So then I asked this question that, do you have any practical tip, for when sleep comes during chanting? So, like any practical tip is there. So, like we can have the same question here also. No, any practical tip like to avoid or to overcome sleep during chanting? Stand up, nice. This one, prayers. Huh? Sleep early. Or like you can put off the chanting beads and then sleep for half an hour and get back. But getting back is a difficult thing. Any other face wash? Nice. Talk. That's also nice. When we talk with people, like the whole sleep goes off. That's a nice. Little bit, little bit prajalpa if we do, like we'll get all wakefulness. Why prajalpa gives all wakefulness? Yeah, there's a lot of emotions attached to it. A lot of emotions attached to it, so we get wakefulness in that. So in the similar lines, like we were just discussing this point, that only on the platform of emotion, we will be able to do something, lastingly, and we'll be able to be awake, when our emotions are involved. So when emotions are not involved, we'll not be able to be awake. So then, emotions are at the level of bhava, no? So like if we try to imitate them, it will become sahajiya, So like how to deal with this? We have to be. No, we are not very advanced, but still we want to be emotional. So is it possible through some way? No, no question. Answer. I want answer. So there are certain emotions, which are, which we are expected to develop in the beginning stages of Krishna consciousness. What are those emotions? Hmm. No, emotional mood. Hmm. 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 The greediness. That's nice. This one. Huh? Service mood. So I am a servant. No, that is nice. So this is like my disqualification. So feeling unqualified. So that's also a very nice emotion. Then, huh? It's okay. So this, like in essence, humility and gratitude. These two, emotions are, recommended that we cultivate. So these two, this ones. So all other this, if you see all the Vaishnava bhajans and all the recommendations, so this humility and gratitude, these two things are expected that a devotee in the beginning stages also start cultivating. So gratitude means like one exercise which I always recommend is that to remember all the devotees who helped us in Krishna consciousness right from the beginning, and thanking them. Thank you, like because of you, like I'm able to be there at this point in time here. And then looking around, everywhere, everyone is dhoti kurta and tilak, and in front of us, like Lord's picture is there, and like everything that around is like reminding of us of Krishna. So in material world, to get such a situation, it's not an ordinary thing. No, so we can value that, and we can actually thank the Lord that no, you have allowed me to be there in such a situation. So no, it is very very rare to get this thing. So this great gratitude, this is a very strong emotion, and this emotion gives us like full energy to be there on the process of devotional service. So when this without emotions, it is seen that it is quite mechanical, and it's quite difficult for us to keep us awake, keep ourselves awake. But there are when we go on the platform of emotion, we should be very very careful and cautious that we should not get into other aspects and become sahajiya, so there is I love Krishna so much and things like that, and also it's that's all false. It is that emotions and all is later, reserved for later purpose, later point in time. So at this point in time, so this is very important to contemplate. So we can remember the shlokas in relation to the glories of the Lord. So basically, we have to establish how great the Lord and the holy name is, and how fallen we are. If we are successful in establishing these two, extremes, so then in between that current will come. So then in between that intensity in the bhajan will come. So but if we are not able to establish these two things, how the Lord means like devotees, the spiritual master, the holy name, so all of them, like how great they are and how low I am. So this is the whole, this one of this mood setting. So if we can set this mood nicely, so then we will be able to get that full enthusiasm in the process of Krishna consciousness. So here this one about engaging the mind always in Krishna consciousness. So this is like this engagement in Krishna. So Krishna to manifest, this prerequisite is needed. So this mood is actually needed very much. So one shloka which we had discussed many times here, which I relish a lot, is that Sudama's mood in approaching Krishna. Kvaham daridra papiyan, kva Krishna Shri Niketana, Brahma bandhuritis maham, bahubhyam parirambita. So it's a very nice shloka to meditate upon. So who am I? Daridra papiyan. So I am a very poor and sinful man. And who is Krishna? Krishna is Shri Niketana. Krishna is like, is abode of all good qualities. He is, is Lakshmipati, and he is like, everything auspicious is there with him. And then, I am just a friend of a Brahmana, Brahma Bandhu Ritismaham, so Bahubhyam Parirambita. So, but still, like, he is so merciful that he has embraced me. There is no reason that why Krishna should come and embrace me. That's what Sudama's mood was. So, why he should actually do this thing to me. So, but still, like, though I am unqualified, though Krishna is not bound to reciprocate with me in this way, but still he did it. So it is, I am very very grateful to him and thankful to him. So it's something which I could have never got it. So this same thing, this shloka, actually I didn't when I read Bhagavatam, I didn't it didn't register to me so much. But when I was reading Chaitanya Charitamrita, so that time when in South Indian Yatra, that leper, Vasudev. So when he was cured, so then he cites this shloka from Bhagavatam. So like in that way, he also is meditating that I was such a sinful man, so going through so much of like leprosy and things like that. So I should be like allowed to suffer. So but why did the Lord actually transform me? So it is His great mercy upon me. So like in that way, like he is actually offering gratitude, to the Lord. So that this feeling actually is very very nice feeling, and it is it is authorized that we cultivate this kind of feeling, because like in fact, like this is very very essential. We are fallen, but we are not able to see that we are fallen. At least we can meditate upon this aspect, that how fallen we are and how great the Lord is. So this difference, this potential difference actually makes the current of Krishna consciousness to flow nicely, right? So this is the real difficult thing. But then with little bit of meditation, we can try to understand this particular thing. And this the antidote, like this is like the very solid antidote to pride and this one damba and things like that. So it is very, very good antidote. So even to get this kind of thought also, even to meditate like this, it requires a lot of mercy of the Lord and mercy of spiritual master. So we should try to pray to the Lord and the spiritual master that, please give me this mood, please give me the mood of humility, so that I can, nicely serve you. I can try to be nicely engaged in your service. So in this way we can actually make a prayer. So whenever we talk about, like thinking of Krishna or accessing Krishna or like chanting Krishna's names, or like even the same mood was carried by Akrura, when he entered Vrindavan. So same thing, like, he was asked to go to Vrindavan and he's going, and it's a matter of some distance. He will enter into Vrindavan, right? So, but then his whole mood is that this is a great place, and I'm not at all qualified to enter there. So, but still, the Lord is very merciful. He is allowing me to enter, right? So this, this one, like, the glories of the Lord is so high, and the abode of the Lord is like, really very glorious, and I am so fallen. So, but still, the Lord is allowing me to, enter into there. So when this mood is there, so that is when, Krishna becomes manifest, and that is when, we can access Krishna. So if this mood is not there, so then we may, like be there with the holy name, or we may enter into Vrindavan, or we may, think of some images of Krishna, but really Krishna will not get manifested, and really we will not feel that nourishment of being in proximity with Krishna. So the feeling of nourishment comes because there is only one problem between material things and Krishna conscious things is, material things we can access as we want. Like if I want to access the mobile, I can access. But if I want to access Krishna, I cannot access. Even if Krishna is there right next to me, no, I cannot access, because only with this mood, Krishna becomes enabled, and like we can access Krishna and feel nourished, in the association of Krishna. So this is the prerequisite, and apart from this, we also many times have discussed, the avoidance of offenses. So when the offenses are avoided, and then a favorable mood is there, so then we are able to access Krishna. And once we access Krishna, then automatically anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion, and fear, so all of them will vanish. So it is and the best way to access Krishna is through the medium of the spiritual master and through the medium of devotees. So that's the best way to access Krishna. And like the devotees, in the morning we were discussing this point. So whenever our Krishna consciousness is low, so then we should approach a devotee who is nicely situated in Krishna consciousness, who is able to experience Krishna in Nama Rupa Guna Leela in some way, like better than us. So then when we approach them, so then we get the booster. So we were discussing about this point that when we relax our Shravanam Kirtanam, with proper mood of that humility and things like that. So when we relax them, so then still our Krishna consciousness is good only. After few days it will actually go bad. And then if you want, after it goes bad, if you want to again start, it will take good amount of days again to come back to whatever state we were in. So it is quite a challenge. So but then in between, if it is so dry, only way to this one is that jump start. So all of you know jump start in the vehicle, ना? तो बैटरी पूरा ड्राई हो गया तो लाइक दूसरा बैटरी लेके आके जंप स्टार्ट करते हैं. तो ऐसा ही लाइक we have to go to a devotee who is solidly situated in Krishna consciousness, and he can actually give jump start. This can be equals anyone. It can be. It doesn't need to be the seniors alone. So it can be anyone who is nicely at that point in time nicely situated in Krishna consciousness. So they can actually help us to jump start actually. And the problems we may, when we come to the material plane, we may have problems. These various problems can be there: anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion, or fear. And we'll have generally, like what is observed is, so our mind becomes little bit unstable. So we will start, there is tufan of material desires that is coming inside, and then we are a little bit at unrest. So that means like our nourishment is not happening properly. Somewhere either we are not spending sufficient time for observing ourselves in Krishna consciousness, or we are spending time but with not proper attitude. So in some way or other we are not able to access Krishna. So because Krishna is not present, so the consequently Maya is present over there. So when Maya is present, like there will be a strong orientation of sense gratification will be there, and then there is strong unrest of the mind will be there. So mind will be like oscillating like anything. So this is one of the symptoms. It may be like if he is materially conscious in mode of goodness, then it may not. But generally the base mode is not mode of goodness. No. So like we'll get back. So all that display of mode of goodness we are able to do only because of being in touch with Krishna. The moment we plug off of Krishna, like our basic mode is like, you know, it is like passion and ignorance, being products of Kali Yuga, like naturally, passion and ignorance. So immediately the mind becomes very like restless actually. So this we see that this restless mind can be uh, brought under control when we are in touch with Krishna consciousness, and with sufficient advancement, it becomes solidly situated. Like the mind becomes solidly situated. But in the in the beginning stages, we have to like do the process with the right mood, and we have to approach Krishna's altar, or like the holy name, or the Bhagavatam, or any this one, even for that matter service. Many times we have discussed this points also, like that accepting the arati, we can have the same kind of a feeling. So this is Krishna's Mahaprasad, and why should I be given this Mahaprasad of the Lord? What like how do I deserve to get this thing? I don't deserve to get this thing, but still I am able to get. This is Krishna's mercy, and this is mercy of the devotees and mercy of the Lord, so that I am able to get this opportunity to accept the arati or smell the flowers that are offered to the Lord. So like that, when we have that this one, so then we will be able to access Krishna, and we will feel nourished. So but mechanically when we do, so then we may not have value for that also, and we will not be able to access Krishna. And when we are not able to access Krishna, then the material nature will be fully manifest over there, right? So and in the beginning I was just trying to put this point, that this aspect of the reflection of the banyan tree. When the banyan tree is reflected, so we generally discuss this few points in the Gita course, that when a person is trying to enjoy the material nature, so it is like the water is reflecting the banyan tree, and he is trying to jump into, and the moment he jumps into, everything becomes disturbed, and he'll not be able to see the tree at all, right? So then he'll get complete loss of hope. Everything is like material world mein kuch theek nahi hai, and things like that. So then after some time, again the image starts manifesting. Again the material nature starts promising, saying that, oh, this is a place of enjoyment. And again you go for enjoyment, and then everything becomes disturbed. The water becomes disturbed. Then the reflection is not clear. So then कुछ नहीं दिखता है उधर. So then इसके लिए like भोगा त्यागा keeps happening in the material plane, right? So when we understand that the reality is elsewhere, it is, this is what is what we are able to see now is only illusion. The reality is elsewhere. So that clarity comes when Krishna becomes manifest, to some extent at least, when Krishna becomes manifest. So this clarity actually emerges, and all the problems, like Srila Prabhupada mentions in the introduction to Bhagavad Gita, that all problems are there, like what is that? Because of lack of Krishna. Like anybody remember that lines? So all problems are there because of lack of Krishna. Like he says like different forms. This one happens, and only thing that is needed is, if Krishna is present, that is the solution of all the problems. And like the source of all the problems is lack of Krishna. So that is the only source of all the problems. The problem may come in different ways. Problem may come in so many wonderful, innovative ways. The problems may come, but we should understand that this is just the face of the problem. Like the root of the problem is lack of Krishna. If that is solved, all these different manifestations of the problems will get solved. So that faith we need to have. That if we don't have this faith, then what will happen when certain problem comes? I have to handle it in this way, that way, like that. So many ways the mind will go. So, but if we understand the root of all the problems is lack of Krishna, and I need to get Krishna. So then, if this is there, so then we will be solidly situated, and we'll work on, anytime any problem comes, we'll work on again the basic sadhana. We will work on that, and we will try to become more Krishna conscious. So if we if we lose focus on that, So then there is so many problems and there is so many solutions in this world. So like that Prahlad Maharaj ka ek shloka hai in the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. He says that Balasya Neha Pitaro. Anybody remember the shloka? Or if you can take that shloka out also, it will be nice. It's a very nice shloka to meditate upon. Like Chatasya is again a problem. This memorize the shloka, but you don't recite regularly. So then you forget the shloka. In Kannamangala also we are reciting this particular lesson. Even that shloka also I forgot. In 10th canto of Bhagavatam there is one shloka is there where Shukadeva Goswami is telling that in the forest path when people keep walking, the rasta bana rehta actually. And during rainy season nobody walks there, so then ghas ug jata hai and then the path is lost. So in the same way, a sadhaka who doesn't recite his shlokas regularly, he will lose his shlokas. Balasya neha sharanam pitaro nrsimha natasya chagadam udanvati majjato no taptasya tat pratividir ya ihanja sheshtas tavat vibhot anubrutam tvad upekshitanam. So here is telling, my Lord Nrsimhadev, O Supreme, because of a bodily conception of life, embodied souls neglected and not cared for by you cannot do anything for their betterment. Whatever remedies they accept, although perhaps temporarily beneficial, are certainly impermanent. For example, a father and mother cannot protect their child. A physician and medicine cannot relieve a suffering patient. And a boat on the ocean cannot protect a drowning man. Right? So there is like so many different solutions are there in this world. So, but then here Prahlad Maharaj is telling, no, these are all not the solution. The real solution, the real root of all the problem is somehow or other that soul is neglected by you, and the real solution to all the problems is somehow or other, we should take shelter of you, right? So that is the only solution. This is very nice shloka, in the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. So we can actually, Prabhupada also often cites this shloka actually. So we find this shloka in the in 7th canto, in the later cantos, like very less shlokas are there in the Prabhupada shlokas book. So this is also one of the shlokas that is there in the Prabhupada shlokas book. So it's very nice this one to meditate upon, that all the problems exist only because of lack of Krishna, and solution for all the problems is Krishna consciousness. So like that we can try to meditate upon this particular point. And here we see that the mind is the original cause of material bondage, and it is followed by many enemies such as anger, pride, greed, lamentation, illusion and fear. The best way to control the mind is to engage in Krishna consciousness. So like we see that whenever this point of engagement comes, like we should, what are the points that we discussed? One is practical engagement in the Krishna consciousness, and the second one is avoiding the offenses and maintaining the mood of humility. And basically the 6 items of surrender also, that come with this, whatever 2 points we discussed, it is nicely mentioned over there. So Anukulyasya Sankalpa is like doing Navavida Bhakti and taking part in all Krishna conscious activities, and then accompanied with the mood of like Lord is my protector and Lord is my maintainer, and the Karpanya, the humility is also mentioned over there. So this like puts forward, like the 6 limbs of surrender actually puts forward all the essential aspects that is needed for the manifestation of the Lord. So if we only do Anukulyasya Sankalpa, or like only do the favorable things, but not have this mood that I am trying to chant and this chanting is my ultimate protector, and like this chanting or this Krishna is only going to protect me and no one else is going to protect me, right? And this Krishna is my only maintainer and no one else is my maintainer. So this mood, when it is properly built, so then the chanting, that Anukulyasya Sankalpa will provide its benefit actually. The ultimate goal of manifestation of Krishna actually happens. So in the process of devotional service, this one is like the purification is when Krishna becomes manifest. And just like in the process of rubbing a matchstick with a matchbox, so what is the goal? Fire has to come. So in the same way, like engagement in Krishna conscious services, like in engagement in Krishna conscious activities, the goal is that Krishna becomes manifest. So then all the like purification happens, and we make advancement, and the attraction to the sense objects reduces, and like love towards the Lord increases. All these things happens when Krishna becomes manifest. That's the key result that we are actually looking for. So when we are actually engaged in devotional service, right? So, and when it is properly put, as it is mentioned in the 6 limbs of surrender, so when that is properly executed, so then Krishna becomes manifest, and all the necessary things that has to happen, everything happens. But if Krishna is not manifest, so then we are not making advancement. We are still there only, and then the material conceptions are still there, and our mind is not like peaceful, and it is fully absorbed in sense gratification and things like that. So all these elements will be reflecting. And when Krishna becomes manifest, then everything seems to be like part and parcel of Krishna. Everything seems to be like it should be engaged in service of Krishna, and the mind naturally thinks of Krishna, and all those things happens, right? So this is the whole this one that is there. And how often we are able to manifest Krishna, that much we are better off. And in the advanced stages of devotional service, Krishna will naturally be manifest all the time, right? So in the beginning stages of devotional service, it's a game of like how often we are actually bringing Krishna in the light. We are actually having Krishna becomes manifest in our process, right? So that's the whole this one, right? So, and left to ourselves, if we just relax a bit, then Krishna's manifestation is lost, and then we are back in the material plane, right? So in the beginning stages, we have to like engage nicely with the process of rules and regulations nicely, and later stages, then it will become natural, right? So with this, I pause today's discussion. Any questions or comments we can take? So in the higher stages, better and better emotions are there, So like more on top of it. This is the foundational emotion. Is this? This emotion is never lost. That Krishna is great and I am very small. So this emotion is never lost. So, but then, keeping this as the foundation, there is many other emotions that actually come. So when Sahajiyas, what is their problem? Is that they portray their as if they have natural affection for Krishna. But the foundational quality that Krishna is great, I am very insignificant. So that quality is not there. So without the without the actual substance within, it's only external imposition. So then what happens? Like instead of service mood, so they try to go in exploitative mood towards Krishna. I want to enjoy Krishna, right? So service mood will come when we understand He is great and He is the master and He is the source. I am part and parcel. So the part's job is to render service to the whole, right? So this foundational understanding is not there. So it is like, Krishna एक बहुत सुंदर व्यक्ति है और मैं उनके साथ विहार करूँगा. So like that it becomes. So then that becomes Sahajiya. So if it is not Sahajiya, then the root, this one will be humility will be there. So that is a test of a real devotion. Test of real devotion is that there will be, if you scratch deeply, you will see that humility will come, bar ke rahega. So that is the root quality of this one. And that's why that's a emotion that is allowed for the this one neophytes also to cultivate, humility. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sahajiya, this one, no? So now our Swarup also, like the Swarup Siddhi is already given. What is the Swarup that is given to us? Yeah, Das. And our name is given with Das. Swarup Siddhi mil gaya. अभी वो स्वरूप का और जो like details है, वो details धीरे धीरे manifest होगा. स्वरूप सिद्धि तो दे दिया actually. No, the moment, the day when we understand we are das of Krishna, we are das of Vaishnavas, so our स्वरूप सिद्धि तो मिल गया. यही तो है हमारा स्वरूप. No, जीरा जीरा स्वरूप है कृष्ण नित्य दास, तो वो मिल गया तो खत्म हो गया, है ना. So if we are having Madhurya Ras and other things, so on top of it only it's going to happen, na. So at least the basic entrance into the spiritual world is, no, you get basic qualification is if you are a servant of the Lord, then you can enter into spiritual world. So uske upar like other qualities, yeah, like no, you do your sadhana and no, based on the guidance of the spiritual master, you'll know what is that? Other things will be revealed, no. So जितना अधिकार है उतना मिलता है ना. So basic स्वरूप सिद्धि तो मिल गया. Any other points? This focusing on this, especially the bhajans, which is the acharyas have given in terms of dainyata, and then also the shlokas in this way. So that we quoted on of Sudama, right? So Kvaham Daridra Papiyan, so like this shlokas, and also the shlokas that remind us of the greatness of the Lord, the greatness of the holy name, the greatness of the what is that, Bhagavatam and things like that. And like the shlokas that remind us of our position, like Ajamil's chapter, if you study, like when Ajamil is like, he gets Krishna consciousness. So then he laments that, how fallen I was, how atrocious I was, what all things I was doing. So then at that time, Prabhupada writes that one should never forget the past, so one should use that to become humble. And the moment we become humble, we'll be able to access Krishna, right? So in this way, like we should never forget our past. And when I mentioned this point one time, one devotee asked, like, what if the past is very glorious? How can the past be very glorious in the material world? So maybe materially, like, you are very nice, but then still it is bad only when we compare to like life at Vaikuntha. So our life in material world will be like, it is not so glorious. It can never be glorious. Material world, the life can never be glorious. We have sufficient, so we can sufficiently, find faults in our life, and the past life. We can sufficiently find faults, right? So we should try to meditate on certain, aspects like that. So glories of the Lord, focusing on glories of the Lord, and focusing on our fallen situation. And then the shlokas and bhajans related to the dainyata. So that's a very nice sadhana for the beginners. Like in Krishna consciousness, all of us are beginners only. So it's not like we spend some like 20 years means like we have become very advanced. So we should always feel ourselves to be beginners. So because if this dainyata is lost, then everything is lost in Krishna consciousness. Because that's the foundational quality that actually enhances our Krishna consciousness. So, and that's the first sadhana that we need to cultivate. So in our ashram we didn't do, but in many of the ashrams, the first this one after joining, like first for a few years, so it's like toilet cleaning service and like jadu pocha service, like only that is given. So why? Because to develop that mood of humility. So once the mood of humility is developed, so then it should be accompanied with nice solid Krishna consciousness, solid Shravanam and Kirtanam. So only if we put somebody in this one toilet cleaning, then they will become, ego will get hurt and they'll go out. So sufficient, this one of Shravanam Kirtanam should be there. So then the proper mood of humility is digested, and when the proper mood of humility is digested, then they'll be solidly nourished devotees, and they can do. They have the qualification to rule the entire world. So that is how powerful this one is. If we can become humble, so then we can help the whole world. We can become the spiritual master of the whole world. So, but if we cannot become humble, then we cannot even become a guide of ourselves also. It will become very difficult actually. 12 साल तक। ये जब प्रहलाद महाराज जब नहीं 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 उतना उतना टाइम नहीं था एक्चुअली। वो तपस्या जब कर रहा था ना, तो वो बीच में छुट्टी लेके आया। हाँ, कुछ तो है उसमें, कुछ तो ट्विस्ट है उस स्टोरी में। आपको याद है पू, प्रहलाद महाराज का कितना साल वो वूम में थे करके? इट्स नॉट सो। हाँ। हम्म, early years, okay. Yeah, there is something like that, it is there. So like basically like which quality, no, कौन सा quality हम कब cultivate करना है, so that acharyas are giving us the this one na guidance na. So if it is a later quality, they will tell it is a later quality, no, but if this is a very essential quality that needs to be cultivated in the beginning, no, तो इसके लिए like वो no हमको ये दिया गया कि this mood, cultivation of this mood, no, ऐसा नहीं कि like हम लोग ह्यूमिलिटी में पूरा स्थित हो जाएंगे, तो वो तो बहुत टाइम लगेगा, बट नो किस चीज़ के ऊपर काम करना चाहिए हम लोग, तो ये ह्यूमिलिटी के ऊपर काम करना एक इम्पॉर्टेंट कर्तव्य है हमारा। सो हम हम्बल, चाहे हम्बल नहीं रहे फिर भी लाइक नो वी हैव टू कल्टिवेट दिस क्वालिटी। लेटर दी ह्यूमिलिटी विच इज बॉर्न आउट ऑफ डिवोशनल सर्विस विल कम, नो, सो भक्ति से जो पैदा हुआ ह्यूमिलिटी आएगा वो सॉलिड ह्यूमिलिटी आएगा, so, वो लेटर पॉइंट इन टाइम, बट नो शुरुआत में नो हम लोग ये ह्यूमिलिटी कल्टिवेट करना चाहिए, नो, जो अगर नेचुरली भी नहीं आए फिर भी हम लोग कल्टिवेट करना चाहिए, क्योंकि वो शुरुआत में हमारा प्रॉब्लम है फॉलोइंग ऑफ एटिकेट एंड अवॉइडिंग ऑफ ऑफेंसेस, एंड इसका पूरा रूट है ह्यूमिलिटी। अगर कोई हम्बल रहेगा सारा एटिकेट अपने आप फॉलो हो जाएगा, है ना, जो हम्बल नहीं रहेगा सारा ऑफेंसेस अपने आप हो जाएगा। और ऑफेंसेस के साथ हम लोग भक्ति करके करके कुछ रिजल्ट नहीं निकलेगा, है ना, तो इसके लिए लाइक वो प्रॉब्लम है। सो इसके लिए लाइक हमको ह्यूमिलिटी शुरुआत में कल्टिवेट करने के लिए इसके लिए कहा जाता है। प्रैक्टिस ऑफ एटिकेट मतलब क्या है, कल्टिवेशन ऑफ ह्यूमिलिटी है। सो एंड अवॉइडिंग ऑफ ऑफेंसेस मतलब नो ह्यूमिलिटी नहीं छोड़ने का। सो इट इज़ लाइक द एसेंस ऑफ ऑल द एटिकेट, यू नो। सो जो हम्बल रह सकता है तो सारा एटिकेट ऑटोमेटिकली फॉलो हो जाता है। इसके लिए बहुत एडवांस डिवोटी तो वो एटिकेट नो लाइक देख देख के फॉलो करने का उसको ज़रूरत नहीं है, क्योंकि नेचुरली हम्बल है तो लाइक नेचुरली सारा एटिकेट फॉलो हो जाता है। So not committing any mistake at all, it is impossible. So definitely we'll commit mistakes. The sign of progress is the occurrence of mistake is reducing. That is a sign of progress. You know, like previously I used to commit 10 mistakes in a day. Now I'm able to commit 9 mistakes, means it's progress. So occurrence of mistakes reduces. No, that is this one. Like I should not commit mistake at all at any point in time. That's a sure shot, proposition for depression. That devotee will be in depression only. Because how can I not commit mistake? So I'll definitely commit mistake. So the taking of this one, that no, I'll definitely commit mistake and I can be corrected. No, So then this is a very nice situation. So if I have the complexity that I will never commit mistake and nobody should correct me, and if anybody corrects me, that means they don't like me and things like that. So then it is very complex situation. So then slowly they stop receiving any correction from devotees, because like they become very sensitive and they don't get any corrections from devotees. It becomes very difficult. So we accept that no, I can commit mistake and I can be corrected, and that correction sometimes may be harsh also. It is good for me, right? So if this much of acceptance is there, so then I can be peaceful and I can be nicely situated in Krishna consciousness. So not committing any mistake at all is difficult. Definitely we will fall prey to pride. Definitely we will be harsh to somebody and things like that. That's okay. That's okay. But understanding that it is not okay is okay. you know. So like it is not okay and somebody corrects me, then that is good. So like that. So one time this one Radheshambhar was giving this example that all the devotees are like unpolished gems. They're all put into one box, and Krishna actually shakes that box, and everybody rub against each other, and everybody like gets this one of the rough side of the other person, and finally like everybody comes out as polished gems. Right? So that is what is the devotee association. Devotee association means lot of friction, but in that is why before they get devotee association, nicely devotee association is glorified, and then one promise is taken: you should never go out of devotee association. And the devotee says, I'll never go out of devotee association. And then he's put into and ऐसा devotee association मतलब मैं कभी ये promise नहीं करता था. मैं भाग के चले जाता था ऐसा devotee association में. But then no, ऐसा प्रतिज्ञा ले लिया, like no, I will follow four regulative principles, chant and stay in association of devotees. And it is so hard, so difficult, तो कुछ टेंशन नहीं, लाइक नो ऐसे रहो सब पॉलिश हो जाएंगे. है ना. So ये जो like whichever gem it jumps out of the box thinking that it is so harsh, so hard to tolerate the other devotee, so वो कच्चा रह जाएगा. वो कभी पॉलिश नहीं होगा. So जो अंदर ही रहता है, in spite of friction, so then he becomes polished. So that is this one. Somehow or other we should accept the friction and stay inside, and we'll become polished. And practice Krishna consciousness nicely. So then we become polished. It is a little, what is that, difficult journey only. So that is why sometimes it is mentioned Krishna consciousness is not bed of roses. So it is going to be very rough. Roses aayega baad mein. So it is very rough, because all our anarthas to pluck out is very difficult, and every anartha to pluck out, it's going to be painful. Painless practice of Krishna consciousness means it is not possible. And we should not tell this to others. Like we give some difficulty to other devotee, and then so pain to hota hai. So this dialogue is only for us. Pain इधर होना चाहिए, दूसरों को नहीं होना चाहिए. Why, like anyway pain is going to come, why we are telling दूसरों को नहीं होना चाहिए? Because anyway pain is going to come, why you are adding pain to it? So we should not add pain to somebody. So because the process of Krishna consciousness only will be painful, why we add pain to others? So we should try to operate our heart very nicely, right? So pain idhar hona chahiye, because pain is the sign of that anarthas is getting plugged out, right? So pain idhar ho sakta hai, but दूसरों को नहीं होना चाहिए. So that's a nice feeling, no? So we should always have that kind of feeling. अंतर्राष्ट्रीय श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, गौर भक्तवृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.